Hello there, welcome back to the Grape Explorer. Today I'm going to be looking at wine from the point of view of technology as I look at some of the wine apps available for us all to use, and I've picked out a couple that I think are really beneficial. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm the Grape Explorer, certified by the Wine and Spirit Education Trust, and bringing you wine education, product reviews and lots of wine tasting. So like I say, wine apps. There are really hundreds of apps available on the market, some good, some not so good. And what I've done today is I've gone through a whole bunch of apps to try and find a couple that I think would be beneficial for the audience on this channel. The first app that I'm going to take a look at is called TrueWine. Now, TrueWine was of particular interest to me because it comes from an educational point of view. You know, my channel is all about wine education, and therefore it's something that I found really beneficial as an app. And I think it would be something that you'd find really beneficial as well. I did reach out to the creators of the app to ensure they were happy for me to use some screen prints in today's video, which they were, so thank you very much to TrueWine for that. And before I get on to showing you some of the screen prints, I just want to take you through some of the highlights of this particular app so that you can see how it could be beneficial to you, perhaps if you're a student of wine or really just looking to get an in-depth look into the world of wine. One of the things that you're able to do with this app is to explore an interactive wine region map where they've captured 1,500 regions, and you're able to see further information based on those regions such as varietals, climate and soil composition. And this is why I say, from an educational point of view, I think this would be really beneficial. If you're a student of wine, you're expected to know so many different regions, and to have that knowledge in the palm of your hand, you know, on something that's mobile, I think could be a really useful study tool. The app also allows you to search regions by climate, varietal and soil type, or use a combination of those factors. You're able to look up specific wines to see specific information about them. Now, that particular feature is in beta at the moment. And then also you're able to look at certain wine producers around the world and see whether that brand belongs to a larger corporation. And again, that's in beta as well. But I think that's a really useful tool to have. You know, a lot of the time, I don't think we all appreciate how some of these bigger corporations own so many of the wines that we enjoy. We might think of them as independent, and actually they're part of something else. So I think that's a really good feature as well. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some of the screen prints available on the TrueWine app so you get a feel for what the app actually looks like. So as I said, one of the things that you're able to do with this particular app is explore an interactive wine region map. And you can see from these screen prints here just how detailed they are and how beneficial this is to actually have, like I say, in the palm of your hand. This is global, and you're going to find some regions on here that you might be surprised they've actually been able to get. There are, of course, the usual things that we would expect to see from the major producing regions of the world, but they've also done a great job of picking out some of those lesser known regions as well and providing you with some really useful information. You can also explore regions via the search feature. There's a couple of examples here that I've brought up of some of the regions that you may be familiar with, things like Margaret River, Mornington Peninsula in Australia. So I think in addition to what you get from that interactive map, you can then pick out specific regions that you'd like to take a look at. Once you get into those regions, there's a little bit more information about the regions themselves. So you can see that once you've searched for a region by climate, varietal or soil type, you're going to get some information about that region. So from the screen prints you can see here, we've got some information about Champagne, but it's also got a really useful section around defining certain phrases that we might use when we're talking about regions. So you can see here we've got a section on maritime climates. It's like a really useful glossary within the app, and I think that's really beneficial as well. And then finally, we've also got lots of information available on Grape Varietals, which goes into some really good detail, like I say, about things like pH values, residual sugar, alcohol, and you're able to build a personal profile based on your wines that you've had. So you're able to get some really useful information. So you can see here in this example, we've got Albarino pulled up. It's got some really useful information about some of the qualities you might find in Albarinos. And I just think if you're an educator or if you're a student, this is going to be really beneficial for you. So as for where you can find TrueWine, well, TrueWine is available on the App Store now. You're able to try it free for 14 days, after which time for $3.99 a month, you get to access all of TrueWine's features. And I think for anyone going through any sort of study, that would be really beneficial to you. So check out TrueWine, get yourself signed up for that free 14-day trial. The second app we're going to look at today is called Yes We Wine, and again it's another newer app to the market, and I really liked the stylistic interface of this particular app. It's why I picked it out, but I also think it's building a community around wine tasting that I think could be really beneficial from a social point of view. Again, I reached out to the creators of Yes We Wine to ensure they were happy for me to use some of their screen prints. They're included in this presentation. And before we get onto that, let me just tell you a little bit about the app itself. So Yes We Wine compares your tasting to other users, estates or vintages. It allows you to filter and analyse your tastings via their search engine. And for professionals, they're actually able to create masterclasses and receive guest feedback on here. So it's a really interactive tool that I think brings tasters as well as professionals as well as amateurs alike in a really social environment. You're able to search for wine and then taste your wine and input all of those details into the Yes We Wine app and therefore share it with the Yes We Wine community. You can compare your results to other users, and like I say, you're able to filter and analyse and extract your results. The idea with the app itself is it's there to save you time taking notes. It's actually quite interactive in that you're able to pick out specific qualities within the wine and mark that within the app. So you've got a nice easy interface here where you're searching for specific wines, and then you're able to go on to the actual tasting itself. So you have a profile within this app. You can share that profile with others to get that social side of the app, but you can also see there on the right hand side you've got how your wine tasting has been compared to others, and like I say, you're able to build it up on things like, was it in balance, what was the palate like, the acidity, the alcohol, you know, all the things that I go through when I do a tasting on these videos. Yes We Wine is also available in the App Store right now. I recommend you check that one out as well. I think it could be really useful for meeting people who have similar interests from a similar background and actually create that community of wine lovers online, and who knows where that might lead in terms of meetups and all the rest of the good things that social media brings. I hope this has been useful for you. For me, there are too many wine apps out there. Some of them do a really poor job, some of them do a great job, and I think the two that I've featured today are certainly ones that I would recommend. I think they could be really beneficial. Thank you to the creators of the apps for letting me share their information during this video. Good luck to them in the future with their apps. But if you've got any apps yourself that you would really recommend me to check out and use, let me know as always in the comments section below. I'm the Grape Explorer. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers.